Hi there guys, and welcome to this video on the introduction to logs. Now, let's start with some indices. So if we were asked to solve 2 to the power of x equals 3. So what is this raised power that gives us 8? Well, if you're watching this video, you should easily be able to tell me this is 3. 2 times 2 is 8. And here's a little special case you need to know. Anything to the power is 0 is 1. So here we would say x is 0. This one's a little bit more complex. You can see the 3 and the 5 have been squared, but they've also been reciprocated. So you should know to reciprocate, x needs to be negative, and for them to be squared, this needs to be a 2. But this one's way more challenging because 9 raised to a power never equals 27 with a whole number. So you're thinking straight away, well, it's got to be more than 1 because 9 to the power of 1 is 1, and it's got to be less than 2. So it has to be a fraction. But what's the easy way of going about it? So what I like to do is say, okay, well, my base values are clearly different. And when we think about indices, our base values are normally the same. So can I rewrite both of these base values with the same base? Well, yes. I can write 9 as 3 squared, and I can write 27 as 3 cubed. So when I go to this step, I see I've got the power to power law, which means I can multiply these. And therefore 3 raised to this is equal to 3 raised to this number here. So it means these two values must be equal to one another. So we can say 2x is equal to 3 and x is equal to 3 over 2. Okay? But that's all easy, all well and good. But when I change it to this, solve 3 to the x equals 7, well, that's not obvious, for one, and I can't rewrite these at the same base value. So this is why we have logs. Now there are 2 options to solve this. We're going to go over one option today, but there's another option, which is the option I tend to go for because it works for every question. So let's learn how to write logarithms. So let's take some easy facts that we already know. So 2 cubed is 8. Well, we know that. But using logs, we can also write this. So we're going to say the log of 8 to the base 2 is 3. Now, how did I know that? Well, can you see the base value here is 2? And this is where we write our base value with logs. What we're finding the log of is our result, and this power is what we're going to get. Basically, the easiest way to remember it is the base, and these two swap sides. That's probably the easiest way. Now, we use logs when we have this sort of situation. When we have an equation with an index, with indices, that we can't change the base values to make it the same, or it's not obvious to us what the answer is. That's why we use logs. So let's have a look at this one. So we are finding the log of 125 to the base 5. The base values are staying the same. This is now on this side, and the power is now over here. And if you type this into your calculator, you're looking for a button, probably has 2 little boxes like so. There's for the base value, and that's what you find in the log of. When you type that in, you will get 3. And it's worth pointing out now, you're going to get to situations you think, well, how do I rewrite this? Where do I go from here? And this is the key. Always use this example whenever you get stuck. And I'm going to refer to that in later videos. Okay, so this one looks a bit more complicated. I'm going to write it the other way. Normally we say like the log of 8 to the base 2. We'd always write this value first in the base. But just to reiterate, here's the base, so that's the base. This is what I'm going to find the log of, and that's going to give me minus 3. Okay, so those two have swapped sides, and the base is still the base. So let's have a think about how we can solve this then. So we're going to find the log of 7 to the base 3, and that's going to equal x. Okay, and if you type that into your calculator, which foolishly I don't seem to have one on me, you will get your answer to x. Okay. So that's a little introduction on how to write logs. It's very important you practice lots of those because we're going to need this skill later on. Best of luck.